So there's been a shooting at a mosque in the city of Quebec, Quebec City in Canada, and so I did post a video of that, the incident or the aftermath of the shooting, not the actual shooting. So anyway, now there's been a lot of different speculation about this. The incident happened yesterday, or I think last night, and it happened on Sunday night at Sunday, January 29th, 2017. So since when these kinds of incidents happen, you have these shootings, mass shootings, these kinds of things, you get a lot of speculation, you get a lot of false information. That's what happened in this case as well. And I guess all the information has not come out yet, but I'm just gonna comment on what information has come out so far. So initially you had people speculating that it was a lot of people, I think, thought it was a right-wing kind of attack, kind of because you had the stuff with Trump and all this stuff. So they're thinking, so people were saying, oh, this was a right-wing kind of attack. Initially they said that they were either 2 or 3 suspects, and apparently after the shooting, soon after the shooting, they arrested 2 people trying to get away, I guess. And the report was at least one of the shooters had an AK-47. Now since then, so they had 2 suspects, and the suspects were Alexandre Bissonnette, and who was a Quebecer, a person of Quebec ancestry, Quebecois, French Canadian ancestry, and Mohamed Kadir, who was a person of Moroccan ancestry or Moroccan descent. I don't know if he was an immigrant or born in Canada or not, I'm not sure. But those were the 2 suspects who were arrested after the shooting. Now the police are saying that Mohamed Kadir is not a suspect, he is just a witness, and the only suspect is Alexandre Bissonnette, the Quebecois guy. Okay, so anyway, so apparently not. So they're making now. Apparently they're saying that there's only one shooter who was, and it was the Quebec guy, not so the Moroccan guy, the guy of Moroccan descent, Mohamed Kadir, is no longer considered a suspect. He's only considered a witness. Now, let's see. So basically it was, so this guy, Alexandre Bissonnette, he is a student, according to his Facebook, he is a student of anthropology at the University of Laval in Quebec. And, let's see, University of Laval. And so the shooting, so initially, soon after the shooting happened, some people said that the attacker or attackers said, one of them said Allahu Akbar when he was shooting. And then you had this guy with the the guy of Moroccan descent, Mohamed Kadir, being arrested for this shooting. So that made it seem like, oh, this was like Muslims shooting other Muslims, right? That's what it seemed like. People were speculating whether it was right-wing extremists or if it was Muslims killing other Muslims because they had some dispute or whatever, I don't know. But right now, with this with the fact that the person of Moroccan descent is no longer saying, the police are now saying that the person of Moroccan descent is no longer a suspect in the shooting. He's only considered a witness, and the only suspect is now Alexandre Bissonnette, the Quebecois guy. Now it's looking more like this was a right-wing inspired. This shooting was inspired by right-wing ideology. I should also say that in the shooting, so far it's been, I think he killed the shooter, which I think is. Apparently it's only one. They're saying it's only one shooter now. Alexandre Bissonnette, the alleged shooter, killed 6 people and wounded, I think, 8. Another 8 were wounded, I guess, in the shooting. And he allegedly had an AK-47, according to one of the reports I heard. So anyway, so based on now, there's stuff that they're reporting. Let's see, some of the media from Canada is reporting that this guy Alexandre Bissonnette had some right-wing stuff on his Facebook page, right? He was saying right-wing stuff and liking all this right-wing type of stuff. So let's see. They say he went to high school at Compagnon de Cartier and Francois Xavier Garneau. Let's see. And on his Facebook profile, this is according to Quebec media, Canadian media, he apparently said things, or he put a link to a site, the site of the French leader of the Front National, the National Front in France, Marine Le Pen. Marine Le Pen is one of the right-wing nationalist leaders in Europe, in France, in this case. And he also put a link to a site that was put in memory of a soldier, Jonathan Courtourier, who died in 2009 in Afghanistan. Let's see. I think it was known on the internet. They're saying he was a troll on the internet. He was hostile, they said, on the internet. According to someone they interviewed, Alexandre Bissonnette was an internet troll, and he attacked. They said he didn't. He didn't specifically attack Muslims on the internet, but he just insulted foreigners in general. So, and he attacked feminists as well on the internet. He called them feminazis. And so the person who said, so apparently he was trolling some page called Welcome to Refugees, in I guess a Facebook page, or maybe a Facebook page. Let's see. They said, another person said, who knew him, said him and his brother did not have friends in high school. They said he had an antisocial personality. Let's see. They didn't go to prom. They made a virus, a computer virus, when they were 14 or 15 years old. Oh, he had a twin brother. Okay, so his brother was a twin. They were twin brothers. They say that they called them the twin brothers. They said that they called the two brothers the mean one and the nice one, and they're saying that his brother was the nice one, and Alexandre Bissonnette was the mean one. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know how credible this is. This is stuff, I guess, coming from people that met him. But anyway, so this guy is the suspect, Alexandre Bissonnette. Looks like it might be a right-wing kind of inspired attack. on a mosque in Quebec. At first, people were saying that it was more than one shooter, and it was could have been a Muslim extremist attacking moderate Muslims, but now it looks like it was an individual right wing attack. And of course, when these kinds of things happen, there tends to be a lot of false information coming out, a lot of stuff about, for example, when you have an individual shooter, individual person carrying out mass shooting, a lot of times you get these reports saying there's two shooters, there may be two shooters or three shooters, and then it turns out to be one person. You see that a lot of times when you have these school shootings and these mass shootings. A lot of times it's one shooter, but they say it's two, or they say it's three people. Anyway, so apparently this is a suspect, Alexandre Bissonnette. It looks like it's a right wing inspired attack, and it's a couple other things. So, initially when I heard this thing, I thought it was going to be a right wing kind of attack. It's a attack. It was it was a mosque a Muslim mosque and Islamic cultural center that they attacked in Quebec. It was in Saint Foy or something, like a suburb of Quebec City. Okay, and so the thing is, okay, basically in Canada, you have there's people in general. The mainstream English-speaking Canada is like celebrating multiculturalism, stuff like that, and this is in mainstream. Not to say there aren't people that are anti-Muslim or whatever, but in the mainstream, it's very politically correct, pro-multiculturalism. That's what you see from Trudeau. A lot of the statements you see Justin Trudeau say in public, that's the kind of thing, that's the attitude that they tend to have in English-speaking Canada. You do see, I guess there's some, there's individuals and there's maybe some regions of English-speaking Canada that are a little less, tolerant. But Stephen Harper, when in the last election, which was maybe 2014, I think, he ran on a platform where he was kind of like this, old stock Canadian kind of anti-Muslim, that type of stuff. And he lost the election to Trudeau, who ran the opposite kind of campaign. But he did win seats in Alberta, and he got some support in Quebec. Now in Quebec, French-speaking Canada, particularly outside of Montreal. Montreal tends to be a diverse city, cosmopolitan. But outside of Montreal, a lot of the people are a little bit, they're kind of like nationalist. They want to preserve their French culture, Quebecois culture, and they feel like people need to assimilate. They're not so much into celebrating multiculturalism, and sometimes you see. So this is why when I first heard this shooting in Quebec City, I thought it was going to be a right-wing kind of thing. But then you had this other stuff talking about, they said Allahu Akbar, the shooter said Allahu Akbar, and then they arrested that guy of Moroccan descent with Mohammed Kadir. So then I started thinking, hey, maybe it was the Muslims who did this, right? But now it's looking like it's a right-wing thing with Alexandre Bissonnette, and given his what they're reporting about his history in terms of like Facebook, at least the media reports are making it look like this was a right-wing attack. You still have to wait and see, because this guy, you never know. This guy, it's definitely possible this guy was, this guy could have been a Muslim, but it's looking more like this was a right-wing inspired attack.